Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Thanks for joining me today. I did get my video issues taken care of, so I believe that this will work out much better. So thanks for joining. Really appreciate you being here. We're here to talk about Bitcoin Cash, of course. First and foremost, this is for educational purposes only. This is not financial advice. But Bitcoin Cash is not looking too hot at the moment. Of course, it had a really good rally over an extended period of time. We basically had a significant amount of volume that came in here when it was about $758 on April 18th, and basically was in an uptrend for quite some time and capped out at about $1,850. And just like some other coins that are out there, this has been kind of in a downtrend ever since. So at this point right now, we have fallen through the Tenkan, and we are getting close to the Kijun here. Probably are going to see a significant amount of support at this level, and it just happens to coincide with the little box that I've drawn here. And this box for me is an indicator of sort of like a no trade zone, to sort of let the market decide what it wants to do at this point. We're seeing volume, a daily volume, start to kind of trail off a little bit. We do see on the 4-hour chart, that's the chart over on the right hand side, we do see a squeeze indicator that has appeared, but this candle just looks terrible right now, and it looks like the Stochc RSI is about ready to drop below 80. I want to say right now it's probably sitting at about 83 to 85, something along those lines. So it's not looking too good right now. One thing that I will say over on the 1-hour chart that's over on my left hand side. We had a rising wedge, and historically speaking, rising wedges typically tend to be a very bearish pattern. And as we get closer and closer to the apex of that wedge, more times than not, it will fall out of it. Now, I know with ZIL a few days ago, there was a rising wedge, and it happened to break out on the upside for that, and that was fantastic for people that were sort of hoping and praying that it was going to break out above, and it did, and that's great. But more times than not, it doesn't. So we had the rising wedge appearing here. It lasted probably a day or so, that it was sort of in that rising wedge formation, but it has fallen out, and it is falling hard. It's gotten back to the starting point from where the bottom of the rising wedge first started. So you can see here at this point, which is at about $1,365, it fell and it touched that point right there. So as you see these rising wedges form, you really need to consider taking profit, because as you see the wedge form, you're going to see where this trend line is appearing and where this trend line is being drawn. And I suggest you not wait until it gets close to the apex of that wedge. I suggest that you take profit on some of the other spikes, and just sit there and wait. If Bitcoin Cash is your thing and you want to stick around with it, you need to be smart, and you need to be wise, and you need to be patient. Because selling here at 1480, after it spiked all the way up to 1500, and then spiked all the way up to 1494, and spiked all the way up to 1496, that's a good there's a good chance that there are people out there that can sell here. A smart sell would be about 1480, and see that rise and think, oh my goodness, is breaking out, I need to buy back in. Well, you got to wait for those candle closures. As I always say, you always want to wait for the candle closures. It really doesn't matter what chart you're looking at. Wherever your trend lines are forming, you want to wait for a clear and confirmed breakout that is confirmed by a candle closure. And at this point right here, selling at 1486 or so, maybe not timing it perfectly, maybe selling at 1480. Yeah, you're missing out on like $30 profit. $30. Not a real big deal. But then look what happens. You never know when this is just going to completely fall off the face of the earth. So if you sold at 1470, 1480 or so, and you missed out on the $30 here, $30 there, look at what you'd be accumulating here. Even if you were to buy right now at 1378, you're literally talking about a $100 difference. So if you were holding 5 Bitcoin Cash, up here at 1478, you basically just saved yourself a $500 loss. And in addition to that, you just accumulated about another 3/10 of a Bitcoin Cash or so, approximating, of course. But these are the things that you need to know. These are the things that you need to understand. This not being financial advice, we're really trying to educate you on the different pattern formations that we have and these rising wedges and what they typically tend to develop. You can see there was a rising wedge that happened a few days ago here on the 9th of May. We had sort of a rising formation that just fell, and it fell a lot harder than what this one has done so far. That's not to say that this isn't going to continue going down. If it does, we're probably heading down to, I would say, probably about the 1350 mark. And if we were to fall below that, we may be heading back to about 1200, 1250 or so. That'd be pretty extreme. But there's a good chance that we will find support here and we might move up. So keep an eye on the charts and see how it goes. But the most important lesson to learn today is the rising wedge formation and trying to find yourself a really good exit. Because, if I move this over here and we're watching this rising wedge formation occur, we're seeing this pattern forming, and we're seeing as it develops, we're getting closer and closer to the apex, and then eventually it falls off. So you need to make sure to find your exit before it happens to fall out of the wedge. And maybe your strategy is to sell when it does fall out of the wedge, because as it fell out, you could see there was a lot of support that it found, and so that's a lot of buying opportunity for you to do your sell. Of course, feel bad for the people that are buying at that point with the hopes that it's going to continue to go up. But nonetheless, there was definitely a lot of resistance at this point. So the bears took over at that point, and the bulls were basically giving up. So that's what I've got for you today on Bitcoin Cash, and also for some of these trends in general. Bitcoin Cash, in my opinion, it has some good aspects, has some bad aspects. I know that there's a lot of things that are development that are happening with this coin that's could potentially make it flip back up and start to head up to maybe to the top part of this cloud. Can't say for sure because we really did cap out here at the 1800 mark. So definitely looking towards the future. If you do happen to take a position here in Bitcoin Cash, you can see 3 solid days here. We capped out right there at about 1760, 1770. So if you're looking to get back in, be ready to take some profits at about $1,770, because that's where significant resistance will be met. Take your profits there, and then wait for a retracement before you happen to buy back in. So a lot of good flipping opportunity here in the long game. So if you're looking to hold Bitcoin Cash for several weeks, then this could be good for you. That's yeah, some good potential here, but you really need to find yourself a really good entry point. Right now, the charts don't look really good because we're in this downtrend. I say this all the time: the trend is your friend. So right now, the trend is looking down, but this could bounce back at any point in time. So that's what I've got. Hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to like and subscribe, share with your friends, and more importantly, leave some comments for me and let me know if there's anything in particular you want me to take a look at, or if you have any comments, disagreements, whatever it may be. I'm always open-minded and really excited to hear what comments you might have. So have a good night, everybody.